Hello there YouTube, how you doing? My name is TheBrokenMachine and today I'm bringing you a 30-4 gameplay. This is on the map Seine Crossing and we're on defense today. Normally I only post attack gameplays, and the reason is because attack tends to be more active and there tends to be more stuff going on, whereas defensive games, well, playing on defense, sometimes, it gets a little boring, and that's not because defense is boring. You can have very good games, but if the enemy team isn't really pushing in, it can be really boring. So I tend not to post those games, but today bring you a pretty nice game on defense. I've started off the round with a little death there, which I'm not very aware that guy was on the right. I started off with the Type 88, but we're going to be switching up to the Recon class and we're going to be using the M5K. Now, on these first set of MCOMs, the Alpha MCOM tends to go pretty quick, so we tend to ignore that, but I notice there's quite a few guys on the minimap here, hence why I'm running around here. Take that guy out there, get a little bit of cover while I regain some health. Yeah, normally we tend to leave the Alpha MCOM, but this time we're going to be trying to hold it. Nice little bit of awareness there. You see that guy was on the floor? Well, I decided to shoot the other guy first because that guy on the left was dropping down, and when you're dropping down, your accuracy goes all over the place. So I didn't really care about him too much at that moment. That's always something to be thinking of. The character animations. You really need to be thinking about that. That can really help you out, particularly in close quarters situations. Unfortunately, we get flanked there. The Magnum is a really great weapon. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it handles in Battlefield 4. But in Battlefield 3, as you can see there, when you're suppressed, the Magnum can be one of the worst weapons in the game. Mixing my words today. So yeah, it can be one of the worst weapons in the game. You notice I'm using the Recon class, and the reason I'm using the Recon class is that we are hoping to try and steal the enemy's LAV. I've said it in a previous video, I think that stealing vehicles in Battlefield 3 is justified on certain maps, and I would say this is one of them. Because the attacking side has a real advantage on this map with the LAV, and if you have the opportunity to steal that vehicle, I think it's always wise to try and do so. But if you have a really good team, you can play against the LAV pretty well, but that requires a really decent team. And when you're playing like I do with randoms or a set of just a few players in this game, I think we have 4, maybe 5 that I know. You want to try and get as much of an advantage as you can over your opponents. And this is what I'm going to be trying here. I'm going to be trying to go for the LAV. I know there's guys above me on Alpha. If you look at the mini-map, there's hardly anyone there. Skull has just been shown on the mini-map, so there's somebody there. And you can see that, look at the mini-map again, you can see guys are coming in there. So what I'm going to do, as soon as I climb this ladder, I'm going to throw a grenade. I'm going to turn around and throw a grenade onto the Alpha MCOM. They've just planted that. And I'm going to throw it up here where these guys are here. Now, instead of just waiting here for an enemy to come in, I'm just going to rush straight in because I know roughly where they are, and I can see, just observing the area, I can see where they are, and I managed to get a nice little streak here. If you look into the right there is a guy there, but the reason I ignore him is because the MCOM is planted, and I'm also low on health, and I've just got to take my chances and see what goes on over here. I managed to get a nice couple of more kills here. But I made a huge mistake here, and that mistake is the LAV was still active, and instead of turning the corner and ADSing slowly to look down across the bridge and see where everyone was, I made the mistake of running out right into the open, and that's what caused my death there. So that's something to really watch out about. In a high traffic area, you really want to minimize the amount of distance you are traveling. You don't want to be rushing out into the open, so it's better to ADS around the corner. There's a little glitch on the wall there, which is a bit annoying. I hope they fix that in Battlefield 4. When you're pointing your gun over a wall, sometimes even though you're not hitting the wall, the bullets still hit it. So there's like an invisible kind of wall there. That's really frustrating. I hope that's fixed in Battlefield 4, but I don't know. That tends to plague a lot of FPS games. Not so much in this game, but yeah, I think it was a little bit of an issue in Bad Company 2, if I remember rightly. I'm not too sure about that, but anyway, so I've got my spawn beacon down, and what we're going to be trying here, we're going to be trying to get the enemy's LAV. You don't really want to make too much noise here, but unfortunately I have to shoot at that guy, and I end up missing. I just quickly steal that LAV from that guy there. I don't think he was too happy about that one. You notice he did get an RPG on me. We're on 64% health in the LAV, so I'm not going to stay around there and engage with those enemies at the current time. I'm going to be pushing back, and I'm going to be taking up a position that in one of my previous videos where I was talking about is stealing vehicles in Battlefield Ever Justified. This is the route I tend to take if I do manage to steal the enemy vehicle on this map. I'll be heading in. I pushed up a little bit there to try and catch some of those guys off guard. But this is the kind of area you want to be in when using the LAV. You want to be moving up and down the slope here, and you want to be checking your flanks. The flank is that corridor on the right there, and to the right here as well. You have to watch out for the enemies that come in both of those ways. Especially C4 guys and people who are planting mines. Always be aware of them. If you have any teammates like I do here that you know, communicating with you or are just playing the objective, you know, that's always good to have. They can really help you out. So you don't want to be staying in a position for too long. You want to be watching that and then moving forward if needs be. Just, you know, be aware. Be aware. Have great situational awareness. See where your teammates are and then fill in the gaps. You know, that's what it's all about. You need to have that. I'm trying to have as many angles of attack on the enemy as I can. So we have guys on Delta, so I'm pushing back. So not the Delta flag area, but around the Bravo MCOM. You see, we got guys straight there, and we haven't got guys on the right. So I really need to be watching that right side there. And we don't have teammates behind me either, so that could be a risk. Always make sure you have an escape route plan. Like there, if I reversed when I was about to get C4'd, if that was about to happen, I would have hit that wall and then got C4'd anyway. So that's always something to be aware about as well. Right, you can see the enemies are starting to push up on the backside here. That corridor there, that tends to be where they come from. They can come from all the way to the right, but not a lot of people will risk that, because if you go out of bounds and don't make it, you die obviously. So you can see the enemies are trying to push in hard here, but they don't make it. You can see on the minimap they're still there, but we've got teammates there, so I'm not too concerned about that area for the time being. One of the buildings in this area that you really need to clear the enemies out of is that building to the right. If they manage to arm the MCOM and they have that lookout over there, you know, they're going to have such an easy time defending that. Even if you do have the LAV attacking that building, you know, you really need to have some infantry clearing out that building. You know what's really nice looking at this map is the level of destruction. You know, when you have two really hard teams like going on here, where both teams are really fighting, you see a lot of destruction. You know, a lot of people firing RPGs and taking out these buildings. And you know, I hope in Battlefield 4 we see this. You know, I think having these types of maps where the buildings come down, you have tight corridors, tight areas where, you know, people can use that to their advantage. You know, I think that's a really cool aspect to this map. It's also on Grand Bazaar to an extent. You know, I'd love to see more maps like that. Well, I'd love to see the same kind of destruction in Battlefield 4. I think that'd be pretty nice. But we'll see about that. I don't think there's been any trailers or videos that show that kind of destruction yet. No, I don't think there is. So, you know, we're using this route. It's a pretty effective route with the LAV, just going back and forth. It's not exactly camping. I guess some people might call it camping. It's more of a defensive style of play, and I think defensive styles of play are very valid. I personally don't have a problem with defensive players or players who wish to sit in a corner, because, you know, I tend to be able to overcome players sitting in corners pretty easily. It doesn't bother me so much, and it's not the most effective of strategies. You can see here that if I just stayed in one place with the LAV, you know, I'd be an easy target, and sitting in the corner is the same thing. You're an easy target. So if you, just a little thought there, if you're one of those players who likes to sit in corners, you know, try exploring, you know, moving from one position to another. That's always a better strategy to try and implement than just sitting in a corner and holding your gun at the door and hoping for the best. You know, it doesn't always work, and you leave yourself very vulnerable. Again, I seem to be going off on tangents here, not focusing on the gameplay. Now this, you can see the enemies are trying to push into that building there. There is a guy up there. There's two guys up there, judging a little name that popped up there. Yeah, that building, if they manage to get to the 3rd floor, that can be a huge problem, because they'll be able to get a spawn beacon up there, they'll be able to see across to Bravo, and they'll be able to C4 and put claymores up there, and it's very difficult to get rid of them. A little tip, you can crawl past claymores, by the way. I see a lot of people just trying to run upstairs, but if you take your time and just crawl your way up, you'll often miss all the claymores. So that's something to think about. Yes, you see my teammates have pushed into that building on the right there, it looks like. You can see here that the LAV, I can see on the minimap actually, there's a guy right behind me. That's going to be a problem in a second. Yeah, he's managed to get a hit on us. So it looks like we're about to lose the LAV. Did we lose the LAV? Can't remember now. Yeah, oh, we're getting repaired actually. We are taking quite a number of hits. Around 4%, 12%. Yeah, I'll get out of there. Yeah, I don't want to risk that. I don't want to. Yeah, I want to be in infantry near the end of the game. You can see right there the suppression. You know, normally the M5K should have got me that kill there, but the suppression, you know, it drops down your accuracy, whatever, bullet deviation, and you know, it's a shame. It's a shame they're still in the game. So as you can see, the enemies are up in this building here. We kind of need to get rid of them. I don't even know how I managed to get that knife. It didn't even look like I knifed the guy there. So now, you know, I could sit in that building on the right, but we're going to stay around this area here. Nice little kill feed there. It looks like most of the enemies are coming down from the hill there. A couple of guys in this building to the left. I need to get some health. Let's throw a grenade in there and see what happens. We're coming to the end of the game now. I've just picked up this LMG. I'm not sure what it is. You see right there, look at that suppression. Oh my god, that is so frustrating. You're using a little C4 tactics, see if anyone was coming up there. But that is the end of the game. That was a 13-4 gameplay. If you've enjoyed this commentary, found it helpful in any way, you know, enjoyed it in any way, you know, thumbs up is there. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Hope you have a great day. Take it easy. I'll see you guys later.